Hello everyone and welcome to the FPL Cougars show. I'm Chris.
I'm Kieran.
And today we are previewing Game Week 22. In today's show we'll be discussing each upcoming Game Week fixture, predicting the potential key players, differentials and clean sheets. We also talk captaincy, reveal our teams, planned transfers and our Cougar Cup picks. Kieran, let's get straight into talking about Game Week 20. Finished a couple of days ago as we head into Game Week 21 on New Year's Day, but let's see how you got on in 20.
Yes, so I got, just quickly, Game 19 that we obviously, because of Christmas, Boxing Day fixtures, I got 71 points. That was the week with the Trent, absolute massive haul with the 3 assists, 1 goal, clean sheet as well. I don't think a defender's ever got that higher score, as far as I could tell, at least in one game week. I got 71 points, which was took me from 168k to 91k, which was a huge boost and a big week for me because many sold Trent to get Salah in, as like you did. So we'll talk about that later. But Game Week 20, I got 71 points again. So again, another consistent week of just scoring the same week on end for some reason. But 91k to 64k again. So another nice green, and ending the year in the top 100k, which I didn't think I'd be saying. So I'm really happy with that. After a strange Saturday where most people saw loads of rotation and things, I got the Rashford last minute goal, a captain success, which was I stopped watching at that point. I was not expecting anything, and just to see that notification come up was really, really, really happy. Ryan clean sheet, Trent got a clean sheet again with 8 points. KDB haul in again, which many people did actually captain. And then Mane with the 11. I didn't even think he'd play. So that was a nice surprise. And then, Tammy, 7 last-minute goal as well. 2 last-minute goals on that sad. I think Chelsea were Saturday as well, weren't they?
I lose track of the days.
Anyway, Tammy with last-minute goal, Rashford last-minute goal, and then just 71 points. Happy in the end. So,
it was really nice. Well, like you say, I had such a wretched... I've had a wretched 2 game weeks, really, 19 and 20. So I was unsure what to do with Son. After captaining him in game week, what would it have been? 18? I think, captain him at 18, and I sort of wanted to move him on, so I thought I'll get rid of Trent and I'll bring in Mane and do something a little different. And I wanted to captain Salah. Get rid of Son and get rid of who else? Trent. And I brought in O'Connell and I brought in Salah, and I gave Salah the armband against that Leicester game. They did end up winning quite comfortably, but from the highlights I saw, Salah just looked pretty uninvolved really, and it didn't really seem like he had many chances. So obviously felt that huge rank punishment because of not having Trent anymore, and then moving into game week 20, I sort of fancied Salah at home because he'd been subbed off early. It looked like Vardy was going to get rested, and I did actually think there was going to be some more rotation within the Liverpool team. Maybe even Man City. I know Kevin came off early against Wolves, but I thought he might play a reduced game, so I thought Salah seemed like the safe minutes choice, if you like. And he did play, and he looked okay, but from what I saw on the highlights, but again, another blank. So I think I had like 30s on game week 19, and then I'm just scraped 53 on game week 20. So whilst you've gone from like 200k to 64, I've gone from about 300k to 660. So it's been a pretty damning two game weeks really. So
it's funny really, because I obviously talked about, it's not funny for you, but I talked about really wanting to get Salah in for these games and possibly moving Trent on. And, and everyone's been complaining about how our teams have been so similar. And I ended up not doing that. And I kind of wanted to keep a Spurs asset of bringing in Ali because of Son being injured. I kind of wanted to keep them because they still had good fixtures and they've looked good going forward. So, I kept Ali or bought Ali in instead of Salah. And that's just and keeping Trent has just been a massive swing in the season, I suppose. And hopefully I can keep going, and hopefully you can come back for it. But
I suppose when you lose like 30 points in 2 game weeks off a player you've had all season, it's pretty, because he won't damning, he won't score those sort of points again between like now and the end of the season across 2 game weeks, maybe not even the double. So I do feel like going back to him is bad. But now that so many people have got him and Liverpool are just so good, I feel like, because they've got 4 clean sheets in a row now, as soon as anyone picks up a clean sheet point, they're going to have Trent in their team. So I'm always going to be playing catch up on that weekend. So I kind of feel like I need to have Liverpool defensive coverage again more than the double up on the attacking side. So it's given me a few things to consider as moving into Game Week 21, really. Should we talk about the manager of the week from the FPL Cougars mini league?
Sure. So yeah, for Game Week 20, I haven't got one for Game Week 19. Sorry, but yeah, Game Week 20 is Adam Carlson with Internet Football. Is his team name, which is good. 87 points, no chips played. He did 3 transfers though with a -8, and he still got a Game Week rank of 12,631. Really good. Overall rank of 82k, up from 153k. So yeah, good again.
Nice.
And he's 228th in the Cub League. He had Ryan with the clean sheet of 6, Trent, KDB with a 14. He had the Marnie VC as he actually put it on Vardy. So yeah, lucked out a little bit there because Marnie was a risk as well. So yeah, Martial with the 8 points.
Nice.
Willian with 7, Rashford, we've got the double up there with 9 points, and Ings as well. So most of the top scorers this week he had in. So yeah, well done, 87 points.
I like his squad. Opting for that 5-man midfield. He must have like a benching headache every week though, because he had, like you say, Kevin, Mane, Martial, Maddison, Willian, and then up front Rashford, Ings, and Vardy. That's quite a strong front 7, but yeah, it came in over Christmas for him. So yeah, that was really nice.
Yep.
I just got to say, excuse me for just having a bit of a croaky voice today. Sorry if you're listening. Just recovering from a small cold, but I hope it's not too bad. Anyway, Cubs, Kieran, let's do it.
Right, so obviously we didn't manage to get a video in between Christmas, so we've gone for our picks for 19 and 20 as one. So I went with Haller, as you might remember, who had Crystal Palace away and Leicester at home, and he got 3 points, blanked them both, and got a yellow card on one, so fantastic. And you went for Lucas Moura, who had Brighton at home and Norwich away, again, 2 good fixtures. Yeah, who got 4 points, got 1 clean. I guess he got a clean sheet. Did they get? No, I don't think they did. So I don't really know where he got 3 points in one game from, but he did. So I'm on 49 now total. You're on 60, so you've got a 1 point extra lead from that this week. And then December wise, I'm on 13, and you're on 13. So
it's a draw.
It's this. I don't know. Do we count?
We're gonna have to count.
1st of January, isn't it?
Yeah, gonna have to count it as a draw key.
Yeah, it's a draw. Shame.
Lucas Moura pipping there, Haller at the end to
I know.
bring me back into it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm never going to win these.
I need some good luck. All right, okay. Let's talk about the fixtures and do a bit of a preview. Should we talk about our teams though first of all, right at the top, because we're doing a bit of a shorter preview this week each. So let's just talk about our lineups, because I sort of want to hear people's thoughts as well as yours in the comments about what I should do with Salah. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about that now, and then we can talk, because Liverpool the last fixture of the game week, aren't they, as well? So. Because I'm sort of sat on him there. We've obviously had the news that we've got double 24 coming up with Wolves away and West Ham away. I don't think that Wolves away game is quite a tricky one for Liverpool. I mean, they're winning quite comfortably most of their games this season, so I'd expect they'd get a positive result at Wolves after beating them at Anfield 1-0. I just feel like with Salah and Mane, it's got back to the trouble I had earlier in the season, where I had 2 premiums in midfield in Salah and Sterling, and they were hogging up so much my budget, I wasn't able to spread the funds around well enough and get decent point scorers. Like Trent is nearly matching Salah now for overall points after his huge haul, and I feel like that, what is he now, 4 maybe 5 million less, he offers better value. And if you've got I mean, we've seen in these just 2 games another prime example that Mane's just having such a great season and matching all bettering Salah over the course of the season. In terms of like points per 90 minutes, it makes me think that a double up is nice and probably maybe worth doing for 24 to maximise points. But going forward, it feels like my squad's like too imbalanced now.
I think at the same price, Mane and Salah at 12.3. I think the idea was that Salah would always be the pick if you had to choose one, just because it was Salah and he seemed like he's the better player, I guess. More explosive. Sorry. Yeah. But at this point, I don't know. Mane's about 20 odd points ahead of him overall. And yeah, just in that game, I think Salah had a good few chances. First of all, they fluffed up. Could have gotten the score sheet, but Mane was clinical in the end, and with the help from VAR, he's the one getting the goal. And yeah, most people, like like we said, expected Mane and maybe Trent to be rotated, and Salah would be the sort of obvious choice for captain in that game, and to get returns, possibly be up front by himself. And yeah, I was really worried because I was thinking of getting him in for that game, and I'm obviously glad I didn't. But I still think the double up in attack is good, and especially for 24 coming up. Salah's gonna haul again soon. I think like he got 16 points like just 3 weeks ago. So when he did haul, so and Mane got I think nothing in that game. So yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Really. I mean, Gomez coming back in has got them like what. I think they're 5 clean sheets on the bounce, including the Club World Cup with Gomez.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's even Alisson coming back. Looking really good at the moment. So maybe the double up in defence is better. I mean, which one to go for is just is difficult, but triple for that double up is definitely a double game week is definitely advisable.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking now that the way I'd rather tackle the double game week and Liverpool fixtures moving forward, because they have a great run after the double as well, is I'd much rather do double defence in Robertson and Trent than I would have Salah and Mane. I just don't feel like, after watching him for, well, that's the highlights for those 2 games and seeing Mane get returns while Salah blanks, it doesn't feel like the value is there with him. And he has been taken off quite a number of times, having looking back at his minutes this season, around the 70th minute mark, which he hadn't been doing sort of in the previous 2 seasons. So you can't even guarantee you're going to get a full 90 out of him. I think that's a bit of a worry as well.
Should we talk about that fixture as well while we're
let's do it
about Liverpool?
Okay.
Just skip to the last game.
Then we'll come back. Okay.
So the fixtures obviously Sheffield United at home this week, which looks good. They've got plenty of rest between. This is what, like 3-4 days between this game, so I think it'll be full strength.
Yeah, so do I.
And then Tottenham away, Man United home again. Those 2 are probably difficult, but you can't see them losing them, or they'll probably score at least. And then obviously in the double in 24, they got Wolves away and West Ham away, which looks it's the first double game week for Liverpool since 2015, as far as I saw on Twitter. So we need to possibly make use of it, get the triple up, triple captain one of them, possibly. What do you think about that?
Maybe the triple captain. I feel like that Wolves away game is going to be tricky for them. But I don't even like their 3 fixtures that much until that double. So I almost feel like after seeing what I've seen in the last 2, like from what I saw, I thought Leicester played worse more than Liverpool played better in that game on Boxing Day. And with obviously the KG 1-0 win, Sheffield United didn't notoriously been good away from home. I can't see them getting beat 3 or 4 after putting in a good performance against Liverpool and Man City the other day. I mean, despite losing, Tottenham's going to be tough. And United, well, a good away from home.
The only team to take points of them, aren't they?
Yeah,
pretty much.
They are this season. Yeah, so I don't think none of them, or none of those next 3, I could see a big sort of 3 or 4-0 again. And even that Wolves away game, I think we saw enough from Wolves on Boxing Day to suggest they're going to be tough at home again for Liverpool. So I think it's probably only that West Ham game and the Sheffield United games in the next 5 I'd want double, if any, and it just makes me think that Salah's not going to provide good enough value in that time.
Yeah, well, XG wise, their last 4 weeks has been 5.91, which is 7 scored, which is 7th overall. So yeah, like you said, it's their attacking prowess at the moment is not expected to be massive, and especially with these fixtures. So, and yeah, even with that West Ham game, the double, Fabianski back doing well in his first game back, could be a thing to think about as well, because he's done well. So and he helps that defense a lot. So it's not all plain sailing and obvious triple captain, but XGC wise for Liverpool 1.44, which is already super low. It was 0 conceded over the last 4 weeks. So 4 clean sheet on the bounce coincides with Gomez returning, as I said, they look good going forward for clean sheets. I think the Sheffield United one probably a clean sheet, maybe even Tottenham away. I had a look at Sheffield United stats, and I was actually quite surprised to see they've created 9 big chances in their last 4 away games. It was actually joint most with Liverpool. Joint with Liverpool, and that's the second most in the league. So they are a threat. They obviously had that goal ruled out, didn't they, against City, I think, which could have gone another one, which maybe could have gone either way. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if
they did sort of pose a bit of a threat. But like you say, how good Liverpool have been recently defensively, you'd expect another clean sheet, which is another reason why I was like, I need to get Trent or some Liverpool coverage back ASAP, because otherwise I'm just gonna slip further and further. He's on 35% now.
Yeah, I feel like it's an expected clean sheet, but personally, I think Sheffield United might score. I think a lot of people, just for seeing these 4 clean sheets in a row, are probably going to just go, "Oh, quick, we must get double defence right away."
Yeah.
And the reality is that Sheffield United have been interesting or good going forward, haven't they? So, and I do think they might sneak a goal this weekend, and everyone's going to be ruin the getting back on the double up straight away.
Yeah.
So,
Now, what remains to be seen what happens, but on the Sheffield United side of things, I think it was obviously a disappointment for Lundy missing out. It seems like he might miss this one as well, because Wilder said his ankle injury could be a problem. So at the moment he's rooted to third on my bench. It's actually sort of Baldock that's coming through as the defensive maestro in terms of attacking returns recently. So he's had 5 attacking returns since game week 12, 19 points in the last 4. So he's averaging just under 5 points per game there. I think he's looking quite good. So if you were thinking, if Lundstrom is ruled out officially for, I don't know, more than a couple of game weeks, then it might be a shrewd move if you've got him recently, especially, so you don't lose too much value in him. But if you've had him a long time, it's probably not a wise idea. They've got sort of mixed fixtures as well, haven't they? Liverpool away, Arsenal away, and Palace away in the next 5, and home games against Man City and West Ham. So not too many appealing fixtures, but they're just sort of resilience, I suppose, has been their main positive this season. So if they can continue that, keep the scores down, you never know, if they might strike at the other end as well. All right, shall we talk about some of the other games of the game week? Go back to some of the early ones, or do you want to add?
Just wanted to mention quickly the combos from Liverpool. So there's a big disparity between points. So TAA and Mane that I had over Christmas, 61 points. Salah and Robbo, 36 points. So that's basically 30 points.
Wow.
Salah plus Mane alone is 45 points. And then Trent plus Salah is 50 points. So, the Robbo owners feeling bad right now. And then the Salah plus Robertson owners definitely feeling bad. But there's Trent and Mane, clear winners with 61 points. A whole 10 points above the next decent combo. So, I'm one of those owners. So, happy enough. But, you're not.
No, it worked out well for those guys over Christmas. Whereas, the other side, it shows how, even though we're in the same team, how sort of attacks can transpire. That Trent it feels to me, Trent playing right wing back and Mane playing left forward is a lot of opportunity for him to assist Mane, if you like. And it's transpired that way. All right, let's talk about Brighton against Chelsea. Brighton just about to start a great run of fixtures, and I think they could be a team worth investing in. Who do you sort of see as being instrumental in that?
So I've got Aaron Moy down here. He was so good in the last game. I can't even remember who they face now. But they're so good. Instrumental over Christmas. Looks like he's probably going to play all the fixtures. And he's going to be hard to drop because he's decent rest between games. But his last 4 weeks, he's at 0.4% owned, by the way, 4.8 million. So he's around that sort of Campwell price, 4/5 midfielder price, which for someone who's looking really good right now, and with this great fixture run coming up, he could be worth investing in. To be honest, at 4.8 million, but why not? To be honest. His last 4 weeks is 8 shots, 2 on target, 3 in the box. That's not massive, but it's still okay for a 4.8 midfielder. XG of 0.4, obviously not great. 9 key passes, 0 big chances created, an XA of 0.48, but he's got 17 points, 1 goal. He looks like someone I might be considering going forward, possibly an upgrade from Hayden to him, just to play in a few games, and because their fixtures, especially that Aston Villa one at home in I think that'll be 23. Looks great because Villa look so bad right now. So obviously Mopai still looks good as well, but Moy is the one going under the radar, and if he's not assisting the assister, hopefully he can be the assister or goaler. I like him going forward, so he might be worth a punt.
I like the goaler tab. I'm actually really keen on Dunk from next game week. I think that defence is worth investing in. We know Dunk likes a goal.
Yep.
I think he's actually got one fewer point than Mopai has this season. So for a million cheaper, he's almost matching him. So yeah, I think Dunk might come into my team because I need to start picking out some, I don't know, lesser owned players to start jumping up these rankings. So I've got to take some more, I don't know, maybe more risks with my picks. So
what's Dunk's ownership?
It's probably, I'd say it's in the teens because he had a good start to the season. I reckon a lot of dead teams have him.
Yeah, it's 12.8.
Okay.
So
yeah. All right. So on Chelsea on the other side, I think probably the main and only thing worth mentioning is Tammy. So Chelsea have been performing well in front of goal recently. They've scored at least 2 in the last 5. Obviously came from behind against Arsenal at the weekend. But that was Tammy's first goal in the last 5 games. He's still owned by 32% of the game. He had 5 shots and missed 1 big chance against Arsenal. But compared to someone like Jimenez, who I've been looking at recently to see if, I don't know, there's some wiggle room there, because Chelsea's fixtures, while okay in the next 3, get really rough after that. I think they go through a period of like 4 or 5 games playing traditional top 6 sides, starting with Arsenal and then Leicester, and I think they've got Man City in there quite shortly after that. But yeah, in the last 4, Jimenez has managed 7 points on average per 90 minutes compared to Abraham's 3 points per 90 minutes on average. And actually, since game week 10, Jimenez has managed 6.2 points per 90 to Abraham's 5.8. So he's been beating him quite comfortably for a while now. I think for most people, I think Abraham's now priced at 8 million, maybe 7.9, and Jimenez is 7.5. So there is a bit of a saving there. And I think with Jimenez's good fixtures, he's still someone I'm really looking at. And Abraham's gone off the boil a little bit for me. But are you sort of keeping faith with him? He's got some good fixtures coming up.
I mean, talking to Chelsea fans on Twitter, they seem to think he might get rested for this game. But I don't see why he would be. I thought that might give him a bit of confidence scoring that last, against the traditional top 6, because he'd not scored against any of those sort of teams before. So yeah, I assume he's just going to play. But if he is benched, then I might sell him because their fixtures coming up, like I said, are difficult. Obviously, apart from the next 3. But yeah, he's not been really doing it, has he? I've kind of wanted to keep him just because his potential, I suppose, and he's had decent fixtures. So, and yeah, when he's not performing, then Jimenez looks good. Even Mopai, like you said, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, downgrading it seems like a decent way to go as well. So you can try and get in someone like upgrade Rico up to Robertson or something like that for the fixtures. But I'm undecided at the moment, and there seems to be sort of team leaks on Twitter lately of just like before the lineups, so before the deadline. So I might be waiting for, I think is it Wednesday or something like that.
What, on the Chelsea team?
Yeah, Wednesday, on the Chelsea team. So I might be waiting to see if that leaks lineup has Abraham in it or not, and then I might make my move. So
interesting.
Yeah. I'm not sold on him at the moment, basically, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of money timed up in him as well. It's one of those things like I've experienced with Trent. I've like lost 0.4 million for selling in Angus. He's had a double rise, and I don't want the same sort of thing to happen to Abraham because I've had him such a long time and he has been good. But it seems like there's players out there doing better for less.
I feel like Brighton could just keep a clean sheet here. They've looked really good. Like for teams that aren't getting the best results, I think they've looked the most impressive of just like lower teams. Potter looks like he's drilled them really well, and Moy coming in has looked really good, and all their new signings have bedded in really well. So I fancy Brighton to keep it tight at least at home. They are a good team.
I wonder if this will finally be the time more people start talking about Trossard, you and I included, because he picked up an assist last weekend. And they have got this great run. It's still worrying that he doesn't play 90 minutes every week, and he comes.
It's just on, if he's nailed.
Yeah, it comes on and off, but he does look good when he gets. I wonder if next season with a full preseason under his belt, if Potter sticks around, he could be a real one to keep an eye on next season. All right, Burnley against Villa. Burnley have got atrocious upcoming fixtures. I've thought about getting rid of Pope after this Villa home game because they are bad. Yeah, talk to me about Burnley because I don't think there's really any players at the moment I want to invest in them.
No, their XG is 2.17, 2 goals, dead last at 20th for the last 4 weeks. So that's terrible. And their XGC is not much better, of 3.99. Actually, well, I suppose it is quite good. 3.99, 3 conceded, 7th overall, which is quite good, I suppose. But yeah, Wood versus Barnes last 4 weeks. Shots 4 versus 3, big chances 2 versus 0, an XG of 0.97 versus 0.09. So Barnes isn't even getting to 0.1. Key passes of 0 versus 3. Big chances created 0 versus 0. XG of 0.17 versus 0.2.
None of these are good numbers,
15.6. So yeah, the numbers across the board for both of those players who would be their go-to players, I suppose, in that team, are crap. Basically crap. And yeah, maybe Taylor seems to be playing at the moment at 4.2. But their fixtures coming up, I wouldn't say get one in now, that's for sure. And you're probably looking to sell Pope, like you said, because they're not getting the clean sheets now either, because their fixture run is coming to an end, and he's got 2 in the last 4 or something like that, and that's probably all you could have really wanted from him. And there just looks like possibly Fabianski for their good
I was just
run
about to say,
coming up.
Fabianski.
Guaita's still got decent-ish fixtures. Ryan as well, his fixtures are coming up, are going to be great. That's why I've kept hold of Ryan as well. So yeah, it might be time to move on from all Burnley, because they just looked terrible. Even against United, went at home on last week, I think it was, that they just didn't really play football. They just looked bad, like really bad. So yeah,
it's amazing how they do it. Like teams around them, they've actually level on points with Arsenal this season on 24. And I think they've got 1 more point than Brighton. But like you say, especially when you're looking at fantasy points, Pope goes through these phases where in previous years, he was getting a lot of save points against the big teams. And now you sort of look at those and think, well, he's definitely not going to get any clean sheets. And if he's not making traditional save points against these sides, then he's going to be registering a lot of 1 and 2 pointers, maybe 0 pointers if they get well beat. So yeah, it is a bit of a concern. But unfortunately, I don't really have that many sort of transfers burning a hole in my pocket just to make a luxury move to get rid of him, really. On the Villa side of things, I've been quite disappointed with them in the last 2 games. I think that 3-0 loss to Watford was a hell of a surprise. Like 3-0, and they played with 10 men for like the last half an hour, Watford, and they couldn't seem to break them down. They've conceded at least 2 goals as Villa now in their last 6 away games. And despite what you've said about Wood and Barnes, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is sort of a game picked out for them again to get on the score sheet against Villa. Yeah, I think Grealish is a good pick for Villa, because he's morphed into their talisman figure this season and really stepped out in terms of the goals and assists. He's risen quite a lot in price recently. I think he's up to 6.4 now, 17% ownership. So his ownership shot right up from when we got on him, maybe 3 or 4 game weeks ago. He still looks like the main man, but yeah, Villa as a team have been worrying. I think there's quite a lot of calls from Villa fans as well to get rid of Dean Smith. So I wonder if anything will happen there. If they slip down further into the bottom 3, I suppose it could be a lot more calls to get him going, really, because I think they are just 18th now, I think. So right on the edge.
Not entirely sure.
I think they're 18th, just in the bottom 3. So yeah, could be. They've had these good fixtures as well. I would expect them to do much better than lose 3-0 away from home against Watford.
I'm even thinking about getting rid of Grealish because Villa look that bad at the moment, like so bad. I think both these teams look terrible. So this is that really crap fixture of the weekend, I think. So
and I've got 2 players in it. Whoop. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't believe in Grealish at the moment. It's just because of how bad Villa look in general. So I know he's the talisman and he's done well for us, but I don't know. I think that Watford loss might be the straw that broke the camel's back, I suppose. Yeah, so Smith might be on his way out, and I think they're going to struggle from now on.
It's difficult to sell for me with all the fixtures they've got. Burnley, Man City at home is obviously the tricky one, but 4 of the next 5 I think are good. So Burnley away, Brighton away, Bournemouth away, and then they've got Watford and City at home. That's not in that order. That was just the list, but they have got some good fixtures. So I think in the short term, I'm definitely going to keep hold of him.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but yeah, I'm not definitely
he's getting towards being on borrowed time if Villa's sort of slump continues. It could be a bit like a an Ings story though. Like the team as a whole haven't been performing that well and lingering around the bottom three. But I mean, Danny Ings is nearly matching Rashford for points, so can be done. Newcastle against Leicester. The reverse of this was 5-0 earlier in the season, and Leicester have had a rough couple of games. Obviously coming up against City and then Liverpool, and then obviously they switched the whole team. Pretty much against West Ham. I think their whole team's going to come back in and they're going to be super fresh for this one.
Yep.
You've got the armband locked in on Vardy at the moment, is that
for
right?
now?
For now,
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you feeling good about this one? They've scored at least 2 in 5 of the last 6 away games.
I mean, yeah, the only worry is that Newcastle defence at home is good, isn't it? So
yeah.
I think they've conceded the second least at home all season. So the fixture on paper looks great, but who knows if that sort of whole game off has affected their sort of fluidity, and they're conceding more lately. Leicester, they've obviously had those tough fixtures and they haven't been scoring for fun. So I don't know. It's not definitely on Vardy, and even though he has looked great when he's played, I don't know. What do you think about that?
Based on their stats, they do look like they will just go through Newcastle again. I mean, they beat them 5-0 earlier in the season.
Yeah, it was because of man sent off, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they really put... I mean, okay, well, some more sort of like stats on how creative they've been. In their last 4 away games, they've created 17 big chances, and that's 8 more than next best in Liverpool. And they've had 19 big chances. So obviously they've had the ones created, and they've obviously had 2 extra ones. So that's 4 more than the next best City. So their numbers are really good on the road. I agree. I think that Newcastle are a tough team to break down at home, so it could be a slow game. But I do think Vardy's a really good captaincy shout. So I think in his last 3 away games, he's averaged 2 big chances per game, and he's had expected points of 8.7 per game, and has actually managed an average of 10 points, and he's had 3.5 shots in the box per game. So they're really, really great numbers on the road.
He's probably going to be most captain as well, isn't he? 51% owned still. So
I think it's going to be him or Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah, Kevin's like nearly 50% now as well. So you probably have to captain either one of those. Leicester probably the better fixture. Yes, I probably will keep it on Vardy, to be fair. Yeah. What about you? Is yours on Vardy?
At the moment, I'm actually on Kevin captain and Vardy vice, and that's I'm a little bit worried about Kevin's minutes still. Like, I know he had a bit of a rest against Wolves. You not think that?
No, I just think it's a recurring theme with you. Sticking the band on Kevin
and then
to start the week and then changing it
I know,
every time.
I know. He just looks so good, and then I get closer to the game week and I'm like, I get worried, like things like, he's not really a striker. He's playing in midfield. Is he going to get many chances? And then he just proves me wrong every single time. So, yeah, maybe if people want to put the armband on Kevin, I'll change it on Wednesday morning, and then everyone else can reap the benefits, and I'll be on Vardy probably. But I'm actually considering replacing Salah this week with Maddison, just because they've got some really nice fixtures coming up. So they've got Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley, West Ham, Chelsea in the next 5, and even after that they've got a great run of fixtures. And I do think, based on how good their away form has been, that it's worth, their form anyway, their attacking form has been, it's worth the double up there, and that will enable me to get Trent back in quite comfortably and have a bit of cash rolling about for someone like Dunk next week. So yeah, I think Madison's looking all right.
Yeah, I like Madison. I'm considering if Tammy is rested, then I might sell him for someone cheaper to be able to upgrade Sionku to Ricardo or possibly Chilwell, just because I think I kind of look at Sionku and I was just like, that's 4.9-ish, 5, what was he, 5.1. I just think he doesn't really offer enough that he's just a little bit more expensive than the Ricos and the Kellys, and I feel like I can just use that money somewhere else or to upgrade him, and he feels like he doesn't do enough quite. But I obviously still want a bit of the defence, and I fancy Ricardo to do something in the next few games. So there's that option, and obviously that defence with those fixtures is so good coming up, and even though they have been laying in a few more, that has been against City and Liverpool, so you can sort of forgive them that. But yeah, probably a couple clean sheets, at least two of the next 4, I would guess. And Ricardo against the Newcastle defence, bombing up the wing. I fancy it.
They actually haven't had a clean sheet in their last 5 games. The last one was against West Ham in game week 15. Oh, sorry, against Watford in game week 15. I just had a little look. So they've been quiet on that front, but they've still been scoring goals. We thought they would struggle against City and less so against Liverpool. I actually thought they'd do really well in that game. It turned out they just played absolutely abysmally. But I do fancy them. They've been flat track bullies this season and losing to all the traditional top sides. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of Madison. Get rid of Salah for Madison this week. All right, let's move on to. You got any more to add on Leicester? Move on.
No, and Newcastle wise, nothing to mention either. To be honest, I mean, Andy Carroll seems to be first choice now.
He does, doesn't he? He's snuck his way back in.
I don't know how. Yeah, and just without Almiron, I think they look at not Almiron. St. Maximan, their attack looks toothless. Even though that he wasn't getting loads of returns, but he was a menace at least. And without him, they just look pretty poor. So yeah.
No, I agree. All right, Saints against Spurs. Danny Ings, the Christmas gift, the gift of all time. I think I worked out after he scored at the weekend that since I said I'd get him in for that Arsenal away game when I got Soyuncu instead, he's got 60 points. 60, and he was like 5.8 million at that point.
Well, how much Soyuncu got at that time? He's probably not too
definitely
far
not 60 points.
Yeah,
definitely not 60. You tell me about Danny Ings and I'll see how many points Soyuncu's got since game week, whatever it was.
Right, so 6.6 million now, 16.7% owned. So that's getting up there, sort of, nearly in the 20% bracket. Mr. Consistent since game week 12. He's had 7, 6, 9, 9, 8, 2. I mean, what's that about? 2, 13, 1, and 9. So yeah, he's that sort of returns is like up there with sort of like a Aubameyang, Kevin over the last like few weeks, and just he's looking great. So yeah, that's lots of points gone back in for especially for teams like me who've never bought him. You never bought him, but at the same time, I've always been at the place where I have 3 forwards and I've felt like who the hell can I bench for him or get rid for him. So it should have been Tammy when he got injured. That should have been the move. Should have never looked back, and we probably would have been both even more well off than we are. Than I am now, I suppose. But yeah, 6.6 million, good value, looks great. I wouldn't be too worried by this fixture. Spurs haven't kept a clean sheet under Jose yet. So, the XG is 5.73 for a team, 6 scored. Ings seems to be the one that always gets the goals. Yeah. So, his XG is 1.58 over the last 4 weeks. 2 big chances, 3 goals, 2 key passes, an XA of 0.48, so there might be some assist value there as well. 25 points, and he's first for points of forwards over the last 4 weeks. So, of all forwards in the game, good, that's good for a 6.6 million player. I
tell you what, now that I know that you're getting exclusive Chelsea lineup details, I'm thinking if Tammy's going to be benched for this Brighton game, I'm doing it. I'm getting Danny Ings in. Salah and Trent can wait. He's the main man. Just had a look. Soyuncu scored 18 points since I got him in. The same time I was going to get Danny Ings. He's got 60 points. It's unbelievable. And I can't see it stopping anytime soon because he's still, until he gets injured, he's just going to be still the main man for Southampton. He's going to continue doing his thing. So yeah, Danny Ings is going to be coming in for me. If Abraham
the Twitter account is called FPL Unsubscribe, and it just seems to leak team sheets like at least half an hour before that. I don't know how they get it. I'm not saying definitely use it, but it's useful information.
That is a top tip here, listeners. FPL Unsubscribe. All right. Well, talk to me about Spurs, because Dele is someone I've been looking at to get in instead of Salah, because Spurs still do have 3 good fixtures in their next 5, as well as home games against City and Liverpool. But I wonder if he's gone off the boil a little bit. I got some stats on him here, because he's had 1 attacking return in his last 4. He'd had 6 in the previous 4 before that, and doing a little bit of comparison on XG and XA. So he's had 0.7 XG and 0.7 XA in the last 4. In the previous 4, he'd had 2.3 XG and 1.2 XA. So he's obviously fallen off a little bit after Jose's arrival. Obviously, 2 of those last 4 coincide with Son missing out, but the numbers have dropped off somewhat. He's still owned by 15%, 8.9 million in price now, I believe he is. How do you sort of feel with Ali moving into this one?
I think I'm happy to keep him for now. Saints defense has actually been all right. It's 6th overall at the moment for expected goals conceded. So, which is a surprise. But I thought Delhi looked good in that game. I can't even remember who they played now.
Was it Norwich?
It was Norwich, right? Norwich. Yes.
I don't even know what day it is, let alone game week, Kieran.
I know. Yes, I thought he looked good, and I thought he was pretty unlucky not to return in that because the one for Kane's penalty, Kane could have just shot and it would have been an Ali assist. A few times he was just a bit unlucky. For me, I'm happy to keep him for at least this game, and then possibly the next two after that. He likes scoring against big sides as well, so that Liverpool game is not the worst for him. And 15%. I think it's still sort of a decent differential, and he's doing well. So I don't know. I don't really like him as a person. He's a bit annoying, but I like him as an asset, and he seems to just always be in that sort of area, and he seems to be playing up with Kane as sort of like a second striker. Yeah. So, or if not, then he's always in that sort of 10 role, and he's getting goals still. So. Yeah, I like him still, and even Son after his ban, he's gone down to something like 6% owned now.
I wish he'd drop in price though.
Well,
he hasn't budged in price. Nice. I want to be able to just get him straight back in for his games because I still think he's going to be a really good option. But
he's probably going to come straight back in, as far as I could tell. Anyway, I'm sort of thinking of keeping some money behind or a way to get Son back in when 2 transfers, because that could be great.
It's funny.
Happy with Delhi.
Yeah, I actually talked about Maddison quite a bit, but when I was comparing the stats between Ali and Maddison, over the course of the season, Ali's averaging more points per 90 minutes, more shots in the box, more shots on target than Maddison. He's obviously having far less key passes, but if Delhi had played the same amount of minutes that Maddison had this season, he'd be past him in points. So that makes me think that Delhi might be the better option for short term, but it's difficult. I sort of, in hindsight now, is obviously a glorious thing, but I probably should have just done the simple sideways move to Son to another Spurs player for those
I told you, I was like, oh, you want Ali, don't you? And you were like, nah.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't at that point. But now after having Salah and seeing the dark side of the Force, I just got to go back to the light somehow. And it's difficult.
Yeah, hindsight. What can you do? I just happened to make the right decision at the time, and you didn't, and it just swings and roundabouts because I've made plenty of wrong decisions this year. So,
I've got a good quiz question for you later. Actually, talking about wrong decisions. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Watford against Wolves. Unless you want to add any more.
No, that's
cool. All right. Is there anyone in Watford worth considering? Because they've been actually doing quite well defensively recently.
Well, I haven't really got anyone down for their defence, but. Their XGC recently has been 6.37, and they've only conceded 3, and they've got 5 clean sheets for a bottom, which is only 2 behind the top clean sheet teams, for I think they're 19th. So 19th position with 5 clean sheets is not bad. And Foster has been making some worldy saves, so that's probably the only reason they've got it, because Foster has been crazy good recently. Even for points for fantasy, Foster's been good. So, the player I'm highlighting is Ismaila Sarr, 0.5% owned, 6.2 million. I think he's kind of expensive, but 13 and 7 in his last 2 when he's played more than 45 minutes. Heat map looks off the charts good. 10 shots, 2 big chances, 2 goals, an XG of 1.25, 2 key passes, an XA of 0.4, 1 assist, and 23 points in the last 4 weeks. So. Compared to someone like Grealish, who actually has better expected stats, he's got way more points than Grealish has. So Grealish, I think, had about 14, whereas Sarr's had 23. So next 4 fixtures are actually quite good, I think. Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Tottenham at home, Villa away. Those are okay. And he might be someone to consider, especially at 0.5%. If he gets anything, then he's going to help you a lot. So, yeah.
Do you know what? I actually want to know something shameful? I've actually considered, so of all the ways to get Trent back in, it was either get rid of Salah or get rid of Rashford. They're my two sort of cash cows. And do you know whose name actually popped up as an attacking replacement for Rashford?
Don't say it.
Yeah,
Deeney.
it's the man Troy Deeney. Just they want a bit of revival.
The red card man in double game week.
Jesus, yeah, he was awful for me last season. Yeah, no, he appeared quickly on some stats, and I was like, ooh, who's this? And then I scrolled to sort of see whose name it was, and I was like, oh god, no. But yeah, Watford have been doing well defensively recently. You said they had their 5 clean sheets. That's actually in their last 7 home games, so they've really turned the corner recently. Wolves have looked good on the road though. They've scored at least 2 in the last 3 games. Actually, 2 in the last 3 games against Watford in all comps. Like I said about Jimenez earlier, so he's been besting Abraham and he's looking good in terms of forwards. He's obviously had that rest against Liverpool last time out. I feel like he's going to come back in and cause that Watford backline some trouble. I think the main man to highlight on the Wolves side of things though is Traore, because he's risen in price again last night. I think he's now up to 5.5 million. 26 points in his last 4 games, probably the reason to see his price shoot up. And with games against Watford, Newcastle and Southampton in the next 3, I think Wolves look like another team worth investing in this sort of like short, good fixture run. He's actually had 2 of his goals and 2 of his assists, so basically half of his total returns this season come in away games, but it's not like he's not prolific in front of goal traditionally, and he's only managing sort of like 1 shot in the box per away game this season, so it's worth considering that you are bringing in a 5.5 million midfielder because he is traditionally or typically not that effective. So I wouldn't be expecting big returns from him, but if he can notch a goal or an assist across the next 4 games, I think that would be pretty much par for the course of what he's averaged this season. Yeah, do you like Traore?
Yeah, you'd probably bet he can get something over the next 3 for sure. Yeah. He's kind of just that 5.5 million is a bit awkward, to be honest. Is he going to be a 4th midfielder like every week? Play him? Not really. And yeah, for that sort of price, you want it to be a 4.5-ish, I suppose. But yeah, I've never been that keen on him just because of that price point. I think is awkward, as I said.
Yeah.
But he has looked good, and I think if you've got him, play him over these fixtures, see what he can do. And he had a bit of a rest as well, didn't he? So yeah, I like him, but not for me personally.
No, fair enough. All right, shall we move on and talk about Man City and Everton, or do you want to add any more on Wolves?
No, let's go.
All right, so City, KDB, another big haul. Right, so I've said it quite a few times this season about captaining, but I am tempted now just to sort of like auto-captain him at least for the next 3, maybe 4 games. So they've got Everton, Villa, Crystal Palace, Sheffield United, and Sheffield United. And I think those are 4 good fixtures. He's top of the midfielder sort of standings for a reason. Was it now 4 of the... I think he's only got 2 blanks in 8 weeks or something like that. He's been looking really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like him a lot. He's now up to 49.7% ownership. And obviously a lot of people just... when he was getting that, 3-1 around game week, like... what was it, like 18-ish? Sort of something like that. He had 2 blanks, and a lot of people were selling him, and then he got that 19-point haul. I think you were close to selling him as well or something, but a lot of people on Twitter did, at least. But now he's back up to 10.5 million. He rose twice since then, just because people, getting back on him, screwing up what they shouldn't have done. But yeah, since game week 13, he's had 7, 10, 3, 1, 19, 4, 5, and 14.
All captainable fixtures. Even that one, exactly. I would have taken that one, Kieran.
Yeah. So again, Mr. Consistent, just like Danny Ings, him and Ings. Just with Vardy as well, I suppose. Despite that sort of Liverpool game where he blanked, those 3 guys look like captain shouts most weeks. But yeah, his stats is 15 shots amongst midfielders, which is first. 4 big chances created, which is first. An XA of 2.22, which is first, which is massive. An XG of 1.35, which is 6th for someone who doesn't traditionally get chances to score, I suppose, is still high. And key passes of 11, which is 5th. So yeah, he looks like an essential pick. I hate to say the word essential, but he looks like he has to be in a team because if you don't captain him any hauls or you don't own him at all, he's gonna hurt your rank so much.
Yeah.
So
now Kieran, I'll tell you now, and listeners, I'll tell you now, the armband's staying on Kevin this week. All right, it's gonna be there come.
Oh my god!
Wednesday morning.
Do you not think Everton are going to keep it tight? No, I think they will.
Nah, I think they. Well, I was just about to jump into some numbers on Everton. They've conceded. I think. Well, actually, so the numbers in their last 5. I appreciate Ancelotti's only been in charge for like one of their last 5 away games, but they've been seen a total of over 2.5 goals per game. So I don't think their defence is sort of going to miraculously improve. They obviously conceded 1 against Newcastle. The flip side of that argument is Ancelotti's in his 3rd game as manager, taking on his first sort of big side. I'm pretty sure he's going to want to keep it really tight and set them out to be really
difficult. He's going to play a 5 at the back, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he's going to try and keep it really hard to be broken down. But if he plays 5 at the back, they don't really have many players to play on the counter-attack with, because they've got, Walcott is their one speedy winger, would you say? Sigurdsson, Bernard, I wouldn't say Richarlison's especially quick.
No. Calvert-Lewin, I think, is quite quick.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say they're going to break. So I think City are going to have a lot of the ball, and I think it'll be one of those matter of when rather than if they break them down. A bit like the Sheffield United game, and I think they'll wear them down and do it. But there's quite a few sort of positive points to mention on Everton at the moment. You've obviously backed KDB. You brought him in for Kelly last game week. That was like a million increase on Kelly's price. Ancelotti said after the Boxing Day game, he'll play further forward in line with the midfielders. He's 5.3 million, 1.3% ownership, so he's a big differential. Already got 4 assists this season, which I think is only 3rd to Robertson and Trent, maybe, in terms of overall midfielder. So yeah, he's looking good. Are you they have some good fixtures after this City game as well.
Yeah, I was slightly regretting it after obviously they conceded in that Newcastle game. I thought there was going to be big sort of differential points in that game, but. Yeah, I think I might just play him this week still. I'm tempted to play Rico, but I don't know about City in this game. I just fancy Everton. I think Ancelotti will keep it so tight with just five defenders across the back, and Sidibe being promised to play a bit further forward. I think could do really well here. So City's defence has not been that good, even though they do have the most clean sheets of this season with 7. But like. In their defence, who the hell do you pick anyway if you wanted something? Because none of them are nailed on. So, I don't know. Would you play Rico or Sidibe then, I suppose, in this fixture?
I'd probably err on the side of caution and play Rico. But, I mean, Bournemouth haven't exactly been great, have they? I sort of feel like you say, there's a new manager in place at Everton, and the form and performances do usually improve, and if he wants to play Sidibe, he's probably going to be one of the key components to them playing on the break, actually, now I think about it a little bit more. So, yeah, I'd probably stick him in just for the chance he may get an attacking return against City rather than Rico. But
at the same time, whenever you think not to play Rico, you play him. Yeah. Am I correct?
That's true. But if you play him, he'll get 1 point, but if you leave him on your bench, he'll get 6. So, it's something to consider.
Let's hope let's put him first bench and hope I don't know. Sidibe, it's due a rest, to be honest. Maybe Sidibe don't play.
Yeah, and you'll just get lucky anyway. Oh, that could work out. There's quite a few, or 2 other Everton players I want to mention. Holgate sort of goes without saying because he's been chipping away at 4.4 million. He's started quite a number of games in a row now. Great enabler. Like I said, they've got great fixtures after City. So they've got Brighton at home, West Ham away, Newcastle at home, Watford away. Really great run. If he continues to hold his position, he looks great value in that Everton backline. Another one has got to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I have to mention him because he's been doing really well, actually, in the last 6 games, since Marco Silva went. He's been trusted and he's been getting 90 minutes from both Ferguson and Ancelotti. Ancelotti bigged him up, did you see, after that Newcastle game? He was like, we tried to sign him for Napoli. I was like, yeah. He said something like everyone's eyes in Europe are on him at the moment. But yeah, 4 shots, 2 goals in the game against Newcastle, 5.8 million, 3.2%. His stats across the last 4 aren't actually a lot worse than Rashford's. I think he's got slightly better XG, but he's had less shots in the box. He's had more shots in the box, actually. I think it was 8-6. So he was another person I looked at and thought, I can downgrade Rashford to DLC and still get Trent and keep Salah. But I think Rashford's got some nice fixtures with Arsenal and Norwich in the next 2. So it's a difficult one to move away from while Everton are away against Man City. So yeah, I think he's another good looking striking option. And because he's the same price as Mapai, I think there's a case to if you wanted to go really cheap in attack, you could stick Mapai and DLC alongside Vardy, because both Everton and Brighton have got a really great run of fixtures, and it's a very cost-effective way of potentially getting Salah in your midfield.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about that as both of them, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, no, well, they're both getting 90 minutes every week, and most of their team's attacking returns in recent times have been coming through them, either from a goal or assist. So, yeah, while Rashford and Abraham are doing it well, those two seem to be matching them, at least in the last 4 to 6 game weeks, for a hell of a reduced price. So, yeah, if you fancy doing something a little bit different, Kieran.
Yeah, and I think I saw on Twitter someone say that Calvert-Lewin's record against City is pretty good, actually. 2 goals, 2 assists or something. And he's obviously not played every game against them. So, yeah. And obviously, speaking of Holgate as well, he was the one I was looking to downgrade Trent from in week 18, I think it was, before that haul. And I just wanted to wait one week to see if he was nailed again under Ancelotti. That's why I didn't do that Salah move and Trent out, just to wait to see if Holgate was nailed. So this is the finest of margins. So, but yeah, he is nailed. It seems like now, probably due a rest. But if there's 5 at the back, he should play again. And 4.4 in that defense looks good.
It does, yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I like both of them a lot. And Calvert-Lewin's now got 8 goals this season, which is 2 more than his previous best. There's obviously 18 game weeks to go now, so I think he's good for sticking around in the team, because there are other options. Tosan and Richarlison's been playing up front with him rather than instead of him. So yeah, and one thing to also mention in DLC, DCL. Sorry, I keep calling it DLC. DCL is in game week 24 when Liverpool have their double. He's actually got Newcastle at home. So if you have got quite a lot of money tied up in Abraham or Rashford, or maybe Jimenez or someone else up front, he is a good option to go to, which could enable you to get double Liverpool at midfield or defence. So yeah, he's looking pretty there.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
All right. Norwich against Palace. I haven't really got a lot to say about Palace players, to be honest, Keek, because if Andre Ayew's like top of my players to talk about list, it doesn't say a lot.
I mean, that goal though,
it was a good goal, yeah. But it looked
nice.
Too easy, which is always like a good sign of it being a good goal. Unfortunately, like the little turn, the Zidane turn, little cut inside, little dinky. Yeah, it was good. 18 points he's got in the last 4. That's 4 more than Zaha. He's had 2 big chances, which is more than any other Palace player. But Palace are just poor, so they've had 2 big chances in the last 4 away games. That's the second worst. The Norwich sort of side of things makes me think they'll improve that this weekend, because they've conceded at least 2 goals in their last 9 home matches. But yeah, Palace just shot shy. 2.3 XG in the last 4 is the lowest in the league. That's why I haven't really gone near Zaha this season, because Palace as a team are just not creative. What do you think on the Norwich side? Has Pukki come back into your thoughts, or any of their midfield options?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say about Ayew. I think the problem with him at that price is that most people probably benched him for those points anyway. Definitely. So it's just like, just go for a 4.4 or up to someone like DCL, just because that price, you just think that you can bench him and then you'll always miss his points, annoyingly. So yeah, that's the problem with players like that. But yeah, on the Norwich side, I haven't really got anything about Pukki, but he's looked okay. That should have been a goal. Like VAR is just taking the piss with that one. So yeah, but their Norwich fixtures: Crystal Palace at home, Man United away, Bournemouth at home, Tottenham away, Newcastle away. So they're a little bit mixed, but they're not. They're not bad. Pukki could probably score in the Man United or Tottenham games. Yeah. But yeah, someone I'm picking out is Buendia. The last 4 or 5 weeks he's looked nailed on again at 6 million. I think he's too expensive, but 0.8% owned. He's had 5, 4, 2 and 6 in the last 4 weeks, so it's pretty consistent with an assist per game pretty much. But I think he needs to add a little bit of goal threat to his play, and then he might be considered as someone to go to from a Grealish possibly. But yeah, key pass is 21, which is first of all mids, which is 17 is closest, which is KDB. Actually, no, it wasn't KDB. It was someone like, it might have been Sterling or something. But anyway, 3 big chances created, which is second of all mids, just behind KDB. So he looks to be consistent in the assist creating sort of area. And 1.86 XA of second, again, just behind KDB. So as someone at 0.8% owned of those sort of stats in a Norwich team, I suppose, is decent, I suppose. But yeah, I'm not going to say buy him, but if he continues, then he might be someone to look at.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like, it seems like their form has picked up recently to me, like for just generally, but they're still languishing. Well, they're now bottom of the league by 6 points, I think, from safety. 13 points all season. They're sort of like their most well-owned picks in Pookie and Cantwell have been delivering somewhat over Christmas, but when a sort of team gets towards the bottom end of the league, it's difficult to justify getting any of them in the team, unfortunately. So
I agree.
Yeah. So it's a tricky one. All right, West Ham against Bournemouth. This is an interesting game, right? Because Bournemouth, I think, have got the best run of fixtures in the league in terms of not having to play any traditional top six sides. They've got West Ham, Watford, Norwich, Brighton, Villa. And those 3 of those games are at home in the next 5. Watford, Brighton and Villa. So really good. But they've had one big chance in the last 4 away games, worse than the league. And none of their players seem to be doing particularly well in front of goal or from an assist point of view. So Gosling's actually had the most points of any of their players in the last 4 with 19. And that's pretty atrocious. That's just purely because of that goal he got against Chelsea and the bonus that came with it. The rest of the time he's been averaging 2s and 1s. So I have a quiz question for you on the Bournemouth side of things, right? When was the last time Wilson got a goal or an assist?
This Callum.
This what now, sorry? Yeah, this is
Callum
already
Wilson,
Callum Wilson, yeah.
All right.
So I need the game week number.
See, I think he stopped returning around 5, but I'm not sure if he got one after that. So I'm going to say game week 6.
Oh, you're really close. His last return was in game week 7.
Right.
So, and he's only missed, I think, 1 game since then. I just think the whole of Bournemouth, how they're not closer involved in the relegation battle, does that just mean the others are a lot worse? So they're 2 points outside the bottom 3, basically. I've got no confidence in Bournemouth at the moment. I'm not playing Rico, sorry, he's first on my bench at the moment, but their fixtures, normally you'd think invest, but none of their players are doing it for me at the moment.
But Bournemouth do this all the time, though. They go on these horrid, rotten runs and then they start to turn it around. So maybe if they do something in this fixture, then you might be able to look at a King or a Wilson. But yeah, right now, it looks atrocious on that side of things. I think King looks the most likely to return, but Solanke playing, it doesn't offer much. Stanislas came back for his first game the other week, but didn't look great, even though in the past he's been a decent actual asset. But yeah, Fraser not really there at the moment. Harry Wilson doesn't look great. There's none of them. It's just a shame, really, because they've been good in the past.
Yeah.
So.
No, really, really strange. And their last 10, they've only actually won 2 games, drawn 1, lost the rest. Their 2 wins were against Chelsea and United. So until they actually start playing City and Liverpool, I don't think that I could see any wins coming.
Yeah. I think Ramsdale's possibly a good option at least. Just in goal, possibly a couple of keys. You probably expect like maybe 1 clean sheet, 2 possibly, but he's going to get some save points because their defense is bad.
Yeah.
So
I have looked at him as my Pope replacement because of how good the fixtures are from next game week, but I don't know. I always feel a bit reluctant to make a goalkeeper transfer because at any moment they can just sort of turn a corner and put together like 2 back-to-back big scores, which Pope has done this season. So anyway, United against Arsenal welcome Manchester United to the Emirates.
Should we talk about West Ham first?
Let's talk about West Ham. Sorry, Is there anything to talk about?
Well, not really, but yeah, new manager bounce possibly. David Moyes for Pellegrini.
God, that's so poor West Ham fans. Go.
Oh yeah, we discussed it the other day. We're like, Moyes is probably a worse manager than Pellegrini, right? So
definitely.
Pellegrini's won the league with City, obviously a City, but Moyes had United with a good team, I suppose.
I just don't know what goes on at West Ham. I'm sure maybe some fans will enlighten us, but they just seem to change manager all the time. Why a manager can't stay in a job there more than like a couple of, or maybe even like a season and a half without it going back to, I don't know. It just seems rinse and repeat.
Karen Brady, right, is supposed to be a shrewd investor, right? on the Apprentice and everything. She's supposed to be a good businesswoman. But I don't know if she definitely makes the decisions. But not.
They got 3 of them
right
there,
now.
haven't they? Gold and Sullivan as well. So it's just
yeah.
I don't know. Paul seems a bit of a mess all the time.
Yeah, so there's one person mentioned who's Fabianski
okay.
at 4.9 million. He didn't drop barely at all, to be honest, the whole time he's out. But yeah, 2.1% owned. I guess dead teams that might own him.
Yeah.
But yeah, first start since week 7. He got 8 points. He got 1 penalty save in that game. 6 saves, 1 bonus. He conceded 2, and he still got 8 points. So yeah, he might be a Pope replacement, and obviously he's got that double game week in 24.
Yeah.
And are you considering anyone from that team for the double?
Do you remember last season when we were waiting for that blank game week and I had Anderson for like 5 weeks before it? I was like, Anderson's going to get this something. He got me nut, like maybe 1 assist in 5 game weeks. But
do you not think Fabianski possibly for those? They're tough fixtures in the double, but
I would if he was a bit cheaper. But 4.9 seems like a bit of a stretch. Like you were saying about a defender or a striker, I use at sort of that price. It's when it's like 0.5 more than, I don't know. I'm quite happy with my 4.5-ish goalkeeper, but it just seems like a bit more of a leap, doesn't it?
What about like Antonio, possibly playing up front with Haller?
I just don't even think the fixtures are that good either. Do you? Leicester away, Liverpool at home.
Well, obviously, I mean, but upcoming to it, they're pretty good. Bournemouth at home, Sheffield United away, Everton at home.
To be honest, I hadn't given any of their players any thought. Maybe I should have thought more about Antonio, but
the problem with Antonio, he's 6.9 million. That is so expensive for him. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Why is he 7 million?
No idea.
That's mental.
Yeah. I was getting annoyed looking at prices the other day and remembered how expensive Pepe was.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of I appreciate it's really difficult because you don't know how a season's going to go. But someone like Antonio, 7 million, just never. No. But 6.2 million for Lanzini. He's dropped quite a bit, and he's back in the team now. Not again.
After his dislocated shoulder. I think Felipe Anderson is 6.4 million. I think he's back in the team again. We don't really know who's going to be nailed on under a Moyes team, so. And none of them have been really nailed on at the moment because Snodgrass has been coming in, Fornals has been coming in. They've all been a little bit all over the place. So, maybe it's Fabianski or nothing at all, or maybe even Haller. Who knows?
Oh, God, I think I'm maybe get one West Ham player, and if I did, it would probably be Fabianski. But at the moment, I'm just so irritated with Salah. I don't even want to think about the double. I'm like, I'm going to do triple Liverpool, but it's going to be pretty much everyone but Salah. And then if I've got room to make another transfer, I might do it. But
right, it's Ogbonna or nothing.
It's Ogbonna or nothing. Yeah, it's always defenders that do well in the double anyway. So
that's true.
Yeah, they seem to get less
Diop
rotated.
maybe likes a header.
Yeah. Right. Should we talk about what Arsenal against United now?
Yes.
Okay. Go on then. How do you think this one's going to go? Because United are good on the road, aren't they? Or good on the road against big sides.
Two supposed to be big sides, but who aren't really.
Yeah. It was a poor game, wasn't it, earlier in this season when these two met?
Yeah, what was the score? I don't remember.
I think it was 1-1. Aubameyang scored and McTominay maybe.
Right, great. Arsenal's obviously their fixtures coming up. Man United, Crystal Palace, Southampton at home, Chelsea away, then Burnley away. They're kind of rough, I'd say, ish. Yeah. But yeah, this fixture, I don't know, what are you expecting? I think maybe like goals for United at least.
I think it's going to be goals, yeah. Well, United play well on the break, and I think they've got enough in attacking output in Rashford and Martial. James, I imagine, will play as well to cause Arsenal a lot of trouble, really.
I mean, okay, so XG for Arsenal is 2.82, which is really bad. I think it was 18th overall, which for Arsenal is horrific, really. 2 goals scored over the last 4 fixtures. An XGC of 4.91 with 6 conceded, so they're conceding more than they're expected. So that's a good sign for that this game is going to be good for at least Rashford. That's kind of why I kept Tammy for this Arsenal game as well, thinking that Arsenal were terrible at the back and they like to attack as well, so it's going to be open. And Tammy ended up getting that goal on the sort of, maybe not real break, but they sort of collapsed in the end, didn't they?
Did, yeah.
And Man United can absolutely be the same sort of thing. I think they look better underneath Arteta. They do seem to have a bit of a plan, but they still have that sort of I don't know, ability to be terrible. So I think there's goals in this game. Probably not a clean sheet either side. a player to talk about for Arsenal, Aubameyang, 10.8 million, 17.8% owned. I don't know, is he just overpriced or just overlooked?
It's got to be overlooked, man, because of how well he's doing and be still under 20% is kind of crazy, isn't it? Like, he's not even that expensive at 10.8.
He's fourth highest scoring player in the game, 121 points, and 17.8% owned. So, his fixtures or his points have been 13, 2, 12, 2, 2, 7, and 9. So that's kind of up there with KDB's sort of consistency. But those blanks at 10.8 million is annoying. There's 3 out of the 4 have been blanks. But
I suppose it's difficult to ever captain him, but people obviously do. But I think I'd find it difficult captaining him.
He could just be like, you just own him and you just leave him for the season because he's going to get you points. Because he's just, whenever they score, he seems to be involved. So Lacazette's not doing the business right now. Nobody else is doing the business. It's always him. So I like him, but it's hard to own him. I would like to at some point, maybe in a free hit or something like that. I might get him at some point, but maybe on the second wildcard when their fixtures turn again. But
well, no, he's been doing so well, and he has like you say, I think you'd really have to captain him to get the most out of him as well, because that he'd really start to help you climb the ranks with being under 20% and doubling up on some of those points. But I sort of look at him every week, and you see sort of, Aubameyang scored again for Arsenal, and you think, oh my god, that's going to kill my rank. But then you see how few people he's owned by, comparatively speaking. It's not that much of a worry, really.
Like, looking at the fixtures actually from next week after this United game, they're all right, to be honest. Crystal Palace away, Sheffield United at home, Chelsea away, which is obviously a tough one. Burnley away, Newcastle at home, Everton at home, Man City away in 28, which is obviously tough. Then they got West Ham at home, Brighton away, Southampton away, Norwich at home, Wolves away. So that run, from 22 to 33 is good.
That is all right, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's difficult. Rashford would be the one I'd have to upgrade. I'd have to downgrade Salah again. Oh, Salah. I know.
Well, you've already said you don't care about Salah. So,
I don't care about him. I know. The thing is, I know that he's gonna do something against Sheffield United, but I just don't care now. I just don't care. I just want him gone. All right, let's. Oh, we talked about Man United. I just want to mention Martial because he's someone I've looked at quite extensively. So he's got 27 points in the last 4. I think that's the third most in the league, third or fourth most in the league. So he's had 3 big chances in the last 4. That's the same as Rashford. He's had double Rashford shots in the box, 8-4, and he's actually beaten Rashford on his expected points, and also he's basically matching what his expected points should be. He should have been 26.7, and he's had 27. So Martial looks like, after being quite poor before that, he's stepped up over sort of late December, and he's been really good. Don't know what you think about one or the other or both of those. I mean, they've got Arsenal, who haven't been keeping clean sheets. They conceded 2 goals in the last 4 home matches, and right after that, United have got Norwich at home. So I think.
But what about you? Are you thinking of him as a double up for the Salah?
Maybe. Just it's difficult to double up on United because it's been so difficult to trust them, and they do have 2 trickier fixtures in their next 5, or maybe 3, in Arsenal, Liverpool and Wolves. I don't see them putting a lot past Wolves, to be honest, at home, because Wolves are a good side. Liverpool away is always going to be tough. It's a derby, it's always quite tight. And Arsenal, whilst Arsenal's home form has been poor, and their defensive record's been poor as well, going there is never going to be easy, and going to be multiple goals for United. So I think it's a tricky fixture list to want to double up, but maybe for a 1 week punt, or 3 week, I suppose, from next week to get Norwich and Burnley home fixtures in there, Martial could be a good option.
I like the fact that he is actually looking like a traditional 9 now. He's actually in the sort of places where you expect a striker to be. Because 3, maybe 4 of the goals that United have scored recently have been from defensive areas from the other team, and Martial has just sort of like latched onto them and scored well. So that is a good thing. Out of position for a midfielder at United at 7 point something. It's pretty hard to pass up. So, like if you've got Rashford, then I think the double up is awkward, like you said. But if you're looking to just get one of them, I think Martial's definitely the way to go. But Rashford, as much as I
you've captained him 3
I've
games.
enjoyed owning. Yeah, strangely, because I usually hate the guy and I think he's terrible, but he's done well, but only just. Like, he's scored late goals in the last few, and he's left. He's just toying with my emotions, but those points have been valuable, really valuable over the last few weeks, especially when captaining him, and while other captains have been faltering, and players like Salah and stuff like that. So, I think Rashford could score again. The vice might even go on him this week, so I might even captain him. So that's how crazy I'm thinking right now. But it's hard to go against Vardy and KDB with their ownership. But Rashford, I think, is worth a shout this week.
Nah, well, like I say, Arsenal's defence has been poor. I think United did well there in Ollie's first couple of games in charge last season. Remember them winning in the FA Cup? Can't remember if they won in the league game there. I'm sure someone will
I think they probably did.
I feel like they had some good results away at the Emirates last season, and Rashford definitely involved. I seem to remember as well Lukaku hitting the bar from about 2 yards out from a cross. I remember that quite well. Rashford's done good. Well, that Burnley game, the 95th minute, from going basically from 2 points to 9 points, getting full bonus and the goal, was just
huge
exactly
swing.
what you needed. And he's been really good, which is why I'm kind of reluctant to take him out, because he's put in such a good points return this season. I know players like Danny Ings and Jimenez and even Abraham are sniffing around and doing similar points wise. For
fifth highest scorer.
Yeah, but for a lot less. But I think he's just going to continue. He plays 90 minutes every week. He's on the penalties. I do think he'll start to pull away from those guys as we get towards the edge of end of the season.
Yeah, 16 goals in all competitions so far, his highest ever tally, and it's only halfway through the season. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to about 20 goals in the Prem.
It'll be interesting to see how United manage the Europa League late in the second half of the campaign, because in the group stages they did just play the majority of the kids, didn't they, most weeks, and most of the first team has got left out. So it'd be interesting in the knockout stages if Martial and Rashford start to play a bit more, and if they take that competition seriously, and how playing those guys affects their sort of league form, because we know there's a knock-on effect. There's always going to be fatigue and tiredness. So if Rashford's starting to play Thursday, Sunday, then we could see the effects of that.
Wolves have done it
They've
effectively.
done it really well, to be fair.
So,
really well.
Yeah, Jimenez has played all of them. Jota's played most of their first team players have played all the Prem and the Europa. So I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. So
right, should we wrap up? Should we wrap it up? Another juicy long show for all the Cougar Cup fans out there. Right, what are we going to talk about first? Clean sheets. Do you want to pick out a couple?
Okay, I've got Liverpool here, but like I said earlier, I think Sheffield United could sneak one, so just be wary of that one. Leicester, I think, are going to get one.
Yeah.
Because Newcastle's attack is torrid. I've actually got Bournemouth down here.
Have you?
Just because when you think Rico is never going to do anything, he'll get a clean sheet. So.
I only picked out two this week, and they were West Ham, funnily enough, because I think Bournemouth Bournemouth's stats on the road have been so poor. One big chance in their last four. Is that really going to change? And new manager bounce. So I think West Ham
0-0.
Yeah, and I also maybe 0-0. Yeah, and I also think Burnley are going to keep the last of their clean sheets for a while, just because Villa's away form has been really poor. They do score on the road, but they concede a hell of a lot, and I feel like this is going to be a good match for Burnley. So I'm going to go with those two, I think.
Yep, nice.
Captaincy. It seems like I'm dead set on KDB. I'm going to delete my FPL app, and it'll leave it on KDB for the remainder of the season.
Past the deadline, I'm going to see the armband on Vardy, aren't I? 100%. It's going to happen.
Maybe.
Or you're just going to captain Salah and leave Salah and do nothing.
Oh, God.
And you'll captain Salah.
Nah, definitely not going to captain Salah.
All right, well, okay, for me, I think it'll be Vardy. I like Mane as well in this fixture. But I'm tempted by Rashford. It's Vardy, Mane or Rashford for me. I like KDB, but I think the Everton game might be quite tough. So, yeah, it's those three. KDB's not in my thoughts at the moment.
Okay.
But he is a vice shout, at least.
Definitely. So transfers, are you making any this week?
See, I've got two free transfers. Yeah. I've got 0 in the bank. But like I said, if Tammy possibly is out of the lineup, then I might do him down to someone like DCL and upgrade Sionku to Ricardo. I'm
That'd be interesting.
tempted by Grealish out to someone like Moy as just an option, and then upgrade Sionku to Ricardo.
You like Ricardo.
But I like, I like Grealish's fixture still though. But I also, I'm even tempted to get rid of CDV already, just to upgrade him to someone like Robertson, possibly if Abraham's out. But the fixtures are sort of still sort of difficult. So
there's a lot riding
I've got
on
a few
Abraham
options,
being
but at the same time, I'm not sure if I even want rid of Abraham. So there's options. I might even end up just burning a transfer again because there's no one else I want to remove. It's
that's a nice position to be in. Well, I think it's also wait and see. I was going to say wait and see if Lundstrom's going to be out for a long time, but even if he is, I don't know if I'd get rid of him because you've got so much value in him now.
I've literally had him from Gameweek 1, so tough to get rid of him for sure.
I'm going to keep an eye on that Abraham one because if he's out, that's going to really change my thinking too. Because even though if he's only out for one game week, he's only then got 2 before he's on a really rough run of fixtures, and it's not like he's been in great form. I'd much rather have cut price Danny Ings or Raul Jimenez. So my transfers, gosh, so I've been deliberating so many different moves, right? So the complete overhaul of what I've been thinking. O'Connell is going to be the one to come back out, right? So Trent's coming back in, has to happen. Salah's either going to go out for Maddison, Ali, or Martial. These are the options in midfield. And up front, if I don't get rid of Salah and I get rid of Rashford and get Trent in, the people I've been looking at to replace Rashford with are just DCL and Mapai. So one of those 5 transfers...
Not Jimenez.
Not Jimenez, because I don't have the money to do that in just 2 moves. I've got 2 free transfers as well, but I haven't got the money to do that. Yeah, so Rashford would basically have to come down to I think I'd have 6.6. I'd have to double check, but I'd have... No, 6.4, that's right, because I couldn't afford Ings. So, which was another kick
I would go DCL. I think out of those 2, I think
Yeah,
he's just slightly better with the managed bounce and the fixtures.
Yeah, no, I think they're a better team too than Brighton. So I'd have DCL for that. But that feels a bit lame to me because I'm making a transfer and bringing in DCL for an away game against City. And like you say, he does have a good record of them, but it's not like a really exciting game to bring a new player into.
But imagine if he scores against City, you'd be loving
it, but the odds on that are low. But yeah, we'll see. The person I really want back is his son, and then get him Robertson, and then I can downgrade Rashford to I think Ings. So I can afford a lot of things, but just not yet. But I think Salah's got to go just for team balance reasons. Maybe. I know.
Playing that catch-up game.
It's going to be rough.
You're not tempted to just keep him, just like double down on it and captain him again or something.
I did that against Wolves. Did the doubling down, and the doubling down went really wrong. So I've not been convinced, sadly. We need to do our Cougar Cup picks, don't we?
Yes,
we do. Right, do you want to go first this game week?
Okay, so there are 2 players both in the same fixture here.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go for the home team, so I'm going to go as Myla Sarr, 0.5% Wolves at home. And then the backup was Jota at 3.2%, Watford away. So yeah.
That's so weird because I'd chose. Well, you can sort of imagine I'd already chosen someone, but from that game, and I've mentioned. Who do you think it is?
From that game? Oh, Deeney.
It's the big man, Troy Deeney.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're both supporting Watford against Wolves this weekend for different reasons.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Now I'm feeling quite good about Big Troy.
Cool.
Right. Should we wrap this up? We need to have been chatting an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Hour and 23 minutes.
It had to happen after our missed Boxing Day.
But it's difficult to record that one, isn't it? Difficult to record that one.
All
right, so we're going to be back not next week, but the week after because there's a break, isn't there? I think it's
Christmas
break.
The
next game is on the next league game is on the 20. Oh, it's the 10th of January, game week 22. So it's like a 10-day break after this round of fixtures. So as long as I'm heading into the new year with a green arrow, I'll be happy. I've got a long lot of ground to make up. I'm not feeling confident about this season now. It's gone bad, but there's still time, isn't there?
There of course.
Got until May.
Plenty of time.
Back up. Just got to make some sensible moves. Right. Okay. Is there anything we want to add?
No.
Okay. All right. Until next time, probably be about a week and a bit. It's goodbye and good luck from me.
Cheers and good luck, everyone.
Bye.